Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and welcome to another episode of Sunday Mailbox. This is a video series where you can submit your gaming or Battlefield 3 related questions, and then I'll give my opinion on them. If you'd like to submit your own questions to kind of get the formalities out of the way, you can do so by leaving a comment down below or by submitting a YouTube message, whichever one you're most comfortable with. So the first question for today is, do you think a tear gas or chemical grenade would be viable in Battlefield 4? The tear gas grenade could create a suppression effect within its cloud or something similar, while the chem grenade could deal damage over time to whomever is in its cloud. These could be fun for clearing rooms and pockets of enemies. So this is a pretty cool idea, and while we don't know if the suppression effect is going to be in Battlefield 4, I kind of on the end where I don't want it in the game. I mean, I understand why DICE has it. It adds a different layer, and I do know that some people do like the suppression effect. I think the vast majority of people would like to see it gone, but if they do add it and they continue to want to have it, you know, that's fine. And to have a suppression grenade where if you throw it at the enemy, it blows up, and if they were in the field of it, their entire screen, or they're now suppressed, that could add a interesting dynamic to the game that isn't currently available, because, you know, as of right now, all we have is the grenade, and while it's nice for zone control and getting people out of certain areas so that you can pick them off, it would be cool if there were more options available, and which isn't, currently the case. And to have a suppression grenade that, like, maybe instantly detonated when it hit the ground, it could lead to some interesting tactics. For example, if there is a large clump of enemies, they're off in the distance, they're kind of camping, throw a couple suppression grenades in that direction, they're all suppressed. It's going to be very challenging for them to even land a shot. Your entire team or a couple people can push up, clear them out, and move on to the objective, where if you just threw a couple grenades, it probably wouldn't have gotten the job done. And so, yeah, I absolutely like this. As for the chem grenade, I'm not really sure if I'm sold on that particular idea. I think it might get abused, especially on large servers like 64 people for PC. If everyone was just running into those things and they were just chucking them everywhere, you would just be running into poison fields all day, and I think that would get a little frustrating. And I guess the same could be true for the suppression grenades, but I don't think it'd be that large of a problem, considering that if you just get shot at already, you get the suppression effect on you. But I would love to know what you guys think. Would you like to see more options available for the grenade slot in Battlefield 4? Let me know down below. So the next question for today comes in from Calf Gamer, who asks, do you think that very many people will still play Battlefield 3 after the release of Battlefield 4? Yeah, absolutely. And this is true for really any game that has a nice fan base behind it. I mean, you can even go back to Battlefield 2 and still find plenty of people that play that game every single day. You'll find full servers. I mean, it's going to be, there's not going to be a lot of people playing it, but there is still a dedicated crowd that continues to go back to play those games. And that's going to be true for Battlefield 3. It's one of the best first-person shooters out on the market right now. I know people do harp on it for having a lot of bugs, and it didn't really have the smoothest release by any means, but I love Battlefield 3, and I can even see myself going back to play it once Battlefield 4 comes out. All that being said, though, when the new game, or when the new title is released, the vast majority of the population is going to jump onto not really the bandwagon, but they're going to jump on over into Battlefield 4 because they're looking for something new and fresh, and we're all going to assume that they are going to, they're going to bring that to us. And while I do love Battlefield 3, if you play a game for hundreds and hundreds of hours, or you just, anything in life, if you just do it over and over again, it's going to get repetitive and you're going to get bored with it. And so I have a feeling that while there is going to be there's going to be a crowd that will continue to play the game, most everyone is going to jump on over into Battlefield 4 and to play that, because it's the new shiny toy that everyone wants. So the final question for today comes in from the Quad Launchers, who asks, compared to the close quarters and armored kill, how long do you think Aftermath will last? I always was skeptical about close quarters and armored kill during the previews for it, knowing it catered to a certain group who later dropped out and started playing the original game very soon after the DLCs came out. How do you think Aftermath will fare? I personally think it will last past Endgame. Yeah, I completely agree with you with that statement. I think that DICE really outdid themselves with the Aftermath DLC. I mean, we get 4 new maps. They all look gorgeous. The way that they have designed each of the maps is one of the best that we've gotten. I mean, some of these I would compare to Strike at Karkand, and Strike at Karkand is one of those maps that, it's in every single Battlefield game, and the reason why it is because because it's just so well put together. And I already know that stuff like Epicenter are going to be fan favorites for future Battlefield titles, and I hope that we see some of these, you know, in maybe DLCs for future games, because they really are that well done. Not only that, but they've given us all of the game modes included with the deals, or almost all the game modes for each of the maps as well, and they balanced the maps around those game modes. They didn't just give us, you know, a conquest map and then just throw that in for TDM. They made sure that if you're playing TDM, it's balanced for TDM. You're going to be in a certain section that works for that game mode, or if you're going to play scavenger, it's going to work for that game mode. And it's not just what they did for, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, it's not just like close quarters where it's just kind of like throw every game mode in there, whatever, it's going to work and people are going to like it. And that's not what they did with Aftermath, and I think they really did learn their lesson with it. And so I absolutely agree with you. I think that this is going to last way past Endgame. I'm hoping that if Endgame is as good as Aftermath, then I will be completely content with Battlefield 3. I will give DICE a high five, because if they just gave us 2 amazing DLCs like that at the end, I couldn't be happier. But yeah, those are all the questions I'm going to be answering for today. I hope you enjoyed, but before I go, I would love to know what you guys thought about these 3 topics. Let me know in the comment section below. But if you guys enjoyed today's video or just want to support my channel, I always appreciate it when you give my videos a rating, share this with your friends, and if you haven't already, subscribe for more. But until next time, guys, have a good one and take it easy.